Right now, I really want to spend like an hour talking about Thomas Sanders' most recent Sanders Side video. But it's February, which means instead I'm about to tell you about Homestuck. Hey, it's Liz, and it's Monday, and it is the first Monday of February, and there are 4 Mondays in February. That's how months with 28 days work. Anyways, I have done a Homestuck-themed series in February surrounding the romantic quadrants before, and I wanted to do it again. I've actually been planning on doing this for 2 years, but I did not get around to making it last year, which is probably good because I'm a lot better at video making this year. For those of you who are new to my channel, haven't seen that series, which I find a little hard to believe because I've seen so many people come into my channel through those videos. If you don't know what's going on, basically 2 years ago I made a 4-video series discussing what the 4 romantic quadrants in Homestuck are. And there's, Homestuck is dead, but I still have a lot of appreciation for the ways that Hussey presents the quadrants. I don't know if that's weird or like common or whatever, but I think that it was presented best by Dave towards the end of the series where he was like, dude, they're just feelings. Like, they're just feelings. And the trolls happen to have words for them and humans don't, but that doesn't mean that we can't like feel the feelings, because we're all sentient beings that feel feelings. And you know what? I freaking vibe with that, Strider, so allow me to explain. You don't need to go back and watch those. If you want to, go ahead. I'll leave a link in the description, but I will start every video quickly summarizing what each one is. And we are, of course, starting with my favorite quadrant, Moirallegiance. And I tried to dress appropriately, but I realized this is purple, not pink. But I am wearing pink lipstick, and I did pink eyeshadow. My earrings are also, like, pale pink, and yay. So, pink and diamonds are the things that represent Moirallegiance, like, visually, and the whole idea is that it is the one person in the world who you are destined to be with platonically. Like, yes, technically these are all romantic quadrants, but as far as romance goes, this is really more of a platonic kind of relationship. Obviously, allegiance means together, Moirail means fate, as another word for the fates is the Moirail, and so Moirallegiance, the Moirails, it is like coming together through fate. It is that one friend who kind of keeps you grounded. Like, if you are an emotionally unstable person, they are sort of the stable person who helps you through some of your harder moments and like will help bring you down to a more functioning level. Or sometimes you're imbalanced in some ways and they're imbalanced in other ways, and you guys complement each other in a way that helps you bring each other down when necessary. And yeah, it's not exactly this black and white, someone's functional, someone's not functional, as I probably presented it to be beforehand. I, for example, am not a functioning person, but have filled a functioning role in a Moirallegiance before, helping my Moirail through certain whatever, point being that that's just generally what it is. And I should have mentioned this earlier. What I'm talking about is how to fill these quadrants. Of course, disclaimer, not everyone needs their quadrants to be filled. Not everyone wants their quadrants to be filled. If you're, for example, not super functioning but not super unfunctioning, or maybe you are super functioning but have no desire to help someone else become functioning, like, not everyone is going to want a Moirail. The same way that just not everyone wants a mate spur, which is basically a date friend, You can, the same way that just the way that we think about sexual preference and romantic preference and all that stuff, that applies to all of the quadrants, and not everyone is made for every single quadrant. The basic steps to acquiring a Moirail are as follows. See, Moirallegiance is one of the quadrants that is actually more implied than explicitly stated, and if you ask someone to be your Moirail, it can go a little weirdly, to be honest. If, for example, the person that you have pale feelings for does not know what the heck Homestuck is, you're gonna have to say, listen, this relationship is, this is how it applies to us, this is what we are. But if the other person is into Homestuck, chances are, if you feel it, they feel it too. That's just Moirallegiance, you know? And if they don't, then someone misconstrued something. And just move past it, you know? The way you do with any. As a general rule, if you do not have someone you feel that way for yet, and you're like, I feel like I need some sort of balancing force in my life, this is how you go about that. Find a friend. Make friends. Yes. That's a hard venture, but have friends, you know, and talk to them and be real with them. I think that not only in the endeavor to have a Moirail, but to have any functioning friendship is the ability to, like, be honest and talk about things with the person that you hope to have some sort of connection with, like, you know? But if you find that maybe you're a more stable person, that you make friends with someone who's a little less stable, and you find that there's just something therapeutic about talking with them through their problems, and they admit that talking to you helps them, then maybe this is becoming a conciliatory relationship. The same can happen if you're not a high-functioning person. For example, when I met this guy like 2 years ago, I remember that I had only known him a couple of weeks, but I had like a really bad day, and everyone who I knew really well was kind of contributing to that because I was in so many toxic friendships. So I instead decided I just wanted to talk to him, and I talked to him, and he helped me out a lot. And a couple of short months after that, I was like, yo, I'm pale for you. And he was like, pale for you too, because he knew Homestuck, and that was good, you know? Other times you think that because someone has helped you through a couple of issues, maybe it means more than it does, and ends up not being like that. It just kind of depends on the situation, I guess. But for the most part, that's literally, wow, that's a short bit of advice. That's all there is to it. Moirallegiance, that's the easy one. One thing is to, like, never force any kind of connection between you and another person, which is, like, common sense, but, you know, I just thought I'd put that out there. Like, Moirallegiance is very emotionally taxing, and if you are someone like me who is incredibly emotionally unbalanced, whether it be due to mental illness or just heightened stress levels, which go me for having both of those, it can be easy to be like, I want someone to help me, and I don't have anyone, so you, friendo, you're gonna help me out. That is a bad way to go about doing that, okay? I've done that. Don't do that, okay? Don't just pick someone who you're friends with because it doesn't work that way. It's emotionally taxing, and if you just randomly choose someone who doesn't necessarily have complementary traits to you, you could end up in an unhealthy position where you end up being the person who is doing more of the balancing out, and you're not emotionally prepared to do that. It can put you in the position to confide in someone who you probably should not be confiding in. There's just a whole list of reasons that is a bad idea. Other than that, find that friend who you, like, know is the person who is going to help you through things and balances you out. You balance them out in some way, and if that is a relationship you feel that your mental state sets you up for, then there's someone who's going to complement you perfectly. It's all about not forcing things and realizing that if that's something that you need to have, it will present itself to you. I love Moirallegiance. It's a good one. I like it. Hey, you know, if you're feeling it or whatever, you could talk about how, like, I don't know, Patton and Virgil are totally Moirail. Bring in that bit of Sander size after the most recent video if you want. No closer frame me. We're not going there. We can make a video about it later, okay? Another time. We've already made a Tumblr post about it, which you can totally check out in the description box. We're fangirl6.tumblr.com. If you can't tell, I'm, like, in a state after watching that video. But if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you have, like, I don't know, more steps or advice or any questions. I love answering questions about the Quadrants. That is like my favorite pastime, but people so rarely leave those kinds of comments. I really like talking about the Quadrants, man. Homestuck has lived and died, but my love for the Quadrants still resides in my heart. I tried. Hey! You can follow me in the links in the description box below. Be a bro, share this video with another bro, and if you have not done so yet, subscribe, because guess what? There's 3 more Quadrants. What?